Well, hello, we're going to talk about Saxon Course 2, Lesson 27. The topic of this lesson is multipliers, least common multipliers, and equivalent division problems. Now, first thing we're going to talk about is going to be multiples. Multiples are not that difficult. Multiples are produced by multiplying a number by 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. For instance, here's an example. Okay, if I do the multiples of 5, I get 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and it goes on and on and on forever. Okay, so these are the multiples of 5. If I would do the multiples of 15, I would have 15. 15 times 2 is 30. 30 times 3 is, 15 times 3 is 45. And then you could go on 60, 75, etc., etc., forever and ever and ever. Okay, now sometimes you will be asked to write the multiples of two numbers and then look for the least common multiple. That would be the first multiple that shows up that's the same between the two numbers. Okay? So, we're going to look and find the common multiples in what we've listed, and we don't have to go very far to find two common multiples. We don't have to go very far. We just, this time we went up to 40 with this time, and then we went up, actually I only went to 45, and I had already found two that were common. So we write the commons from the list. 15 and 30 are common. Which one is the least? Well, the least is the 15. So therefore, the LCM, or least common multiple, of 5 and 15 is 15. Okay? Now, I want to tell you, some of you have been balking at using downward division, but I'm going to tell you right now that downward division is one of the easiest ways to find the least common multiple ever, especially if you've got big numbers. Now, this is one smaller number, and this is 5 and 15, the one we just did. And all I had to do with 5 and 15, I used double downward division, is I took 5 into 5, that went once, 5 into 15 went 3 times, and then I was done. And all I had to do was take 5 times 1 times 3, which gave me 15. Notice that this shape, if I draw around it, looks kind of like an L. L as in least common multiple. So 5 times 1 times 3 equals 15. And it really does work. And 15 is our LCM. Let's use this method and the listing method both to find the LCM of 24 and 40. And we'll see if it works. Okay, so here is the listing method. The multiples of 24. We have 24 and 48 and 72 and 96. I'm just counting by 24s. And 120 and 144. Then I'm going to do multiples of 40. 40, 80, 120, 160. Now I stopped at 160 because I saw that there was a 120 here and a 120 here, which tells me that that is probably going to be our least common multiple. And in fact, it is. It is the smallest number that appears in both lists, called the least common multiple. Now, I'm going to use downward division to do the same thing. Okay, I've got 24 and 40. If I take 2 into 24, I get 12. If I take 2 into 40, I get 20. I'll take 2 into them again, and I get 6 and 10. Now I'm done. because when I take 2 into 6 and 10, I get 3 and 5. There's no prime number that can go into 3 and 5 both. So I would make my L shape, and I end up with 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. You just go around the corner, you put your multiplication in there. If you multiply 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5, guess what you get? You guessed it, it's 120. Which is more efficient and would likely have less errors? I think you're going to have to decide what you want to do. But you can do it this way, where you list all of the multiples and then find the biggest one or the least common multiple, or you can use double downward division, DDD, and you can find it that way. Your choice. Okay, I hope this was helpful. You have a great day.